Welcome to Bump Set Chat, the podcast where volleyball professionals come on and share their stories, experiences, and advice. And from Mount Royal University and Team Canada, I have Emma Boyd. Welcome.
Hi.
Yeah, so glad you're able to take the time to come on and share your story. So are you ready?
I'm super ready.
All right, so the way we start things off is we do a few random questions. So here we go. So if they did intro songs for volleyball players, what would your intro song be?
Your Man by Down with Webster.
All right. You had that ready. You were like, yeah, that is my song. Second one, when you head back home, and, for those just, finding out, Emma is from Whitehorse up in the Yukon. When you head home, what meal do you look forward to the most?
Oh my gosh, my mom makes unreal lasagnas and she always has one home whenever I'm visiting just
Yeah.
to quick to throw in the oven to microwave it and there's lots of food for me to eat. So usually her lasagna is
All
what
right.
I look forward to.
Anything unique or special, or just because it's made by mom?
Just because it's made by mom.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And what's one TV show or movie you watch way too many times?
The Office.
Okay. UK version
Yeah.
or American?
The American
Okay.
version.
All right.
Yeah.
So we just hinted at, where you're from. You're from Whitehorse, way up in the Yukon territories. And I think the population is like 40,000 people, maybe.
Yeah.
Where did volleyball start for you?
I started in grade 7. I was playing some other sports, mainly just swimming competitively. And my mom had a rule that you have to play a school sport. So volleyball was the first one that came up in the school season. So she
Yeah.
signed me up. And my older brother also played volleyball when he was in school. And I pretty much just wanted to do everything that he had done.
Yeah.
So I started playing volleyball. I was pretty atrocious at it for a long time. I just grew really fast, didn't really know where the end of my limbs were.
Mm-hmm.
So it was tough to execute some volleyball skills. But yeah, I started in grade 7. I played U13 club that year and then never stopped playing.
Oh, wow. So,
Mhm.
jumping back to the size of, Whitehorse being 35,000 people, what is the club situation like way up there?
Yeah, so when I first started, there was only one club called Sub-Zero, which is the club I played for, and
Mm-hmm.
I think they just had their 20th
Oh,
anniversary.
wow.
Yeah, but since then, and when I was in high school, 2 more clubs came out. So there's Heat Volleyball, and then there's YT Elites. So, but there's not enough people. So usually one club caters towards the older age groups, and the other club is for the
Okay.
younger age groups. And then the YT Elites is just a few select players to go compete in higher divisions and stuff
Yeah.
at provincial tournaments, like in BC and Alberta. But yeah, tournament wise, when we'd play Yukon Invitational, say I was U16,
Yeah.
the teams I would play would be the U15 boys, U14 boys,
Oh,
and
wow.
then the U17 girls, U18 girls, because that was there's only one team per age group.
Yeah.
So
Holy cow. And now during your club season, where did you guys end up traveling? You said, probably BC, over to Alaska, maybe?
yeah, there have been a few tournaments in Alaska. I never went for those volleyball tournaments, but yeah, we went to BC provincials a few times. We went to some nationals in Edmonton. We went there a few times. And then there's competitions like Canada Cup and Western Canada Summer Games and Canada Summer Games. Obviously those are territorial teams,
Right.
but pretty much the same girls
Okay.
from the club. So
And now, what is the hook volleyball has on you? Because I think I've read somewhere you were also a swimmer, and, why did you end up, choosing volleyball?
yeah, I just really loved the team aspect of it. Swimming, you're spending 3 to 4 hours a day in the pool, and you've got your swim cap on, your goggles on, and your face is in the water. You can't really talk to anybody. You don't really get to make those connections.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're still very tight with your swim team and you go through a lot, but there's something about going to battle with your best friends and people who love what you're doing as much as you do. There's just such a connectiveness to it, and I just really love that. And it was also a huge challenge for me because it took me a while to start kind of gain my footing in volleyball, and it was towards U17, U18 where I started to get good,
Yeah.
and I just kind of wanted to see how far I could go.
Nice. Yeah, it's tough with those individual sports. I had Eric Shoji on, and he was playing tennis was his individual sport, and it's tough because swimming, it's on you. You can't look. If you have a bad day, no, your teammates really can't pick you up like with volleyball. Like somebody can, if you're off on your hitting, at least somebody can, step in and motivate you and try to, help you get through it. But those individual sports, it's tough.
Yeah, it's super gut-wrenching. It's like you train so hard, like leading up to this meet, and like you give everything every single day. Like at one point, I was training 24 hours a week for swimming, and
Wow.
you'd go to this meet and you wouldn't PB or you'd like add a couple of seconds, and it's like so gut-wrenching because it's no one's fault except for yours.
Right.
So it's pretty brutal. But yeah, volleyball, like my coach Rhonda at Mount Royal, she's really good. She's like, you know what? It doesn't always have to be your night. Like it can be somebody else's night. Like there's six other girls with you, like on the court, like with the libero that like can be on.
Yep.
So it's nice to know that you have teammates to fall back on.
After high school, you went to Mount Royal. Was there other universities on your list? And did you go to Mount Royal for volleyball or for, the education?
Yeah. Mount Royal was the only Usport school that wanted me. I talked a little bit with Red Deer, which is a college in Alberta. Um, but like he had never seen me play and just like wasn't too sure. He just knew like a previous Yukon athlete.
Yeah.
So he was like kind of going off of her word of me. But yeah, I like came for a visit in Mount Royal and Sandra, like the former coach here, was like, "Yeah, we got a spot for you." And I was like, "Okay." Like I never signed like a letter of intent, nothing.
Yeah.
Like my visit was on a Sunday, so it was like half the team was practicing. It was super random, kind of happened all at once. Yeah, so I just came because it was the only school that wanted me.
Yeah.
And my coaches aren't going to be happy about this, but I'm definitely not a student athlete. I'm an athlete student. So I really came for the volleyball and kind of figured out what I wanted to do
You know
with
what?
school.
I don't think I don't think I've had any guests on who were the student athletes. So you're in good company if that helps.
Good. That makes me feel better.
And now, how was that freshman season for you? Being away from home and now a whole different level of volleyball.
Yeah, when I first got here, my first year it was COVID, so it was completely shut
Oh
down.
shoot.
So I was living alone in res for the first little bit, and then I ended up moving in with a teammate, which was much better because living alone in res is just not that fun when you're away from home and in a
Exactly.
new city. But it was pretty intense. Like we weren't able to do full team practices for the whole year just because of like COVID restrictions.
Hmm.
So small groups or like personal sessions. So it honestly was pretty beneficial for me just because I was so raw at that point. So it was nice to just work one-on-one with the coaches, lots to kind of refine some of my skills, learn some ball control.
Yeah.
I learned how to hit a down ball because I didn't know how to do that, which
Oh
is like
shoot.
a pretty good skill to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for a tall middle.
Yeah, exactly.
For those that don't know, U Sports is similar to the NCAA down here in the states, and your season goes from September till March, correct? Whereas versus down here, the women's volleyball goes from basically September till November.
Yeah, so it's a long season. It's can get pretty tough on the body. It's like hard to stay good for however many months that is. But yeah, like we're just heading into postseason right now.
Yeah.
So we finished sixth in Canada West, which is one of the conferences. So the top six teams got to bye the first weekend. So this next weekend, we're heading to Winnipeg to play U of M for the quarterfinals. And
Okay.
then from there, we just keep competing until we get to nationals
And where are nationals held this year?
at U of M.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes. So we're going to play the host and the defending Canada West champions.
Oh shoot, that's very cool. And now, in your
Yeah.
time there, what have been some of the highlights from playing at UNM?
Yeah, like anytime we've made nationals has been just like unreal. In my second year, which was like my first year of eligibility, just
Yeah.
because of the COVID year, they were at UFC, so in Calgary. So it was really cool to have like your home crowd there, and there's so many student athletes there watching. Like that was the loudest gym I've ever been in.
Yeah.
It was just surreal. And then yeah, we made nationals the next year. Lost in quarters, which was really tough to U of M
Oh.
actually. Um, but yeah, like nationals every time. Honestly, just celebrating with my teammates is like some of the best things I can look back
Yeah.
on.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now how big of an adjustment was it coming from, club where everybody's playing your age for the most part, and now you're playing U Sports where you're playing with women that might be from 18 to 23 years old?
Yeah, you definitely see the difference in like volleyball IQ, I'd say. You can tell when a player is a bit younger because they just want to hit the ball as hard as they can,
Right.
which 100% was me and still is me. Like, I really only tip if I absolutely need to. My setter will be like, tip to four, it's open. And
No.
I'm like, I want to hit this ball. Um, but yeah, so just like the volleyball IQ, like you can see some of the older players just absolutely toying with like the younger
Yeah.
players. It's pretty fun to watch. Our home opener was against UFV, and one of their left sides, Lauren Atia, she was also on the next gen squad with me. And we like talked about her a lot because she's just so crafty. Like she can bang a ball for sure, but she's
Yeah.
got like a wicked roll down the line. Like she's so good at placing the ball and just seeing the defense. And we like talk about her quite a bit, just being like, that's what you want to get to be like as an outside
Yeah.
as you progress in your career, just like having that IQ, being able to see the game and play the game.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And now, if you could go back to, freshman Emma or second year Emma with some advice, what advice would you have for her?
Oh my gosh, don't skip classes. Yeah, go to class.
Is that where athletic student is like, taking priority over the student athlete?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's not that important today. It is. Literally just go, Emma. Just go to class. Volleyball wise, I'd say like just keep sticking with it. Like, um, it's gonna be hard for a long time before it gets kind of easy. Not easy, but easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep sticking with it. Trust the process and like you'll get there.
All right. And now on this year's team, and for those people, Emma's in her final year. Who was or who is the joker on the team? There's things are tense, and who's that person on your team that's going to just crack the joke and make everybody relax?
Probably Marie Leggett. She's one of our setters, and she really does not, she has not changed. She's a year younger than me, and like she has not changed since she's come to the program, just like always looking for the bright side or like the laugh. There was a tense moment. She like came in for the double sub, came off, I got libbed out, and I just like went to give her a hug because like she did really good and I was just proud of her.
Yeah.
And her earring got like stuck in my hair. So we were like stuck to each other on the bench, and it was like 23-22
Oh my
for the
God.
other team. So our coach calls a timeout. Me and Marie are like stuck to each other. I'm crying because I'm laughing so hard. So she just does lots of stuff like that. She always says good times and tan lines. I don't know, that's like one of her catchphrases, but
Okay.
she reminds us all that it's like not that
Yeah.
serious. Like at the end of the day, we're playing a game of like keep the ball off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And like lots of us, me especially, I get really lost in like the game
Yeah.
and I forget that it is a game and we play it because we love it. So she's
Okay.
the Joker.
All right. And now during the course of the season, the long season, are there any dates that have been always circles? Like, oh, we can't wait for this match, or senior night. What are there any dates that you
Yeah,
just can't wait to look forward to?
yeah. I mean, senior night obviously is always really fun. The home opener as well, just like so exciting to get some like a decent crowd in and like to kick off the season.
Yeah.
Really exciting, like because preseason is pretty long because it goes like we come to school at like end of August, and then our season, like regular season, doesn't start until the middle of October. So it's a long time of just like scrimmages. So it's really exciting when you finally get to put on the jersey and like line up on the end line on
Yeah.
Kenyon Court, which is like our home gym. That's really fun. I always really enjoy playing U of A.
And that's
They're
the
just like,
University of Alberta?
yeah,
Okay.
I'd say like we probably have a bit of a rival with them. Like we played them in the semifinal of nationals in 2022, and it was like that whole season it was just like back and forth between like who would win. So I really love playing them. They're just like such a solid team. Um, Club nights, I coach club volleyball, so we get like our
Nice.
club teams out and like just a bunch of other club teams. It's really cool to see like the younger volleyball players coming to watch and cheering us on.
Mm-hmm.
That's really endearing and like super cool to be a part of. But I'd say, yeah, those are like the big ones I
All
look forward
right.
to.
And now, if someone was considering to come, going to Mount Royal, what would your pitch be for them?
Um, that it's going to be the best group of girls you'll ever meet, like the tightest squad I have ever been a part of. You really won't go to another team where you have 14 other girls that love you and would take a bullet for you, except for here.
Yeah.
Rhonda is amazing. She cares about you as a volleyball player, but she cares about you as a student and a human above all, especially. She wants you to excel at every aspect in life. And then, like, if you get to keep going with volleyball, great, but you're going to leave this program being like a super well-rounded, better human leaving here.
All right. Excellent. And now, now you're, soon things are going to be wrapping up. And now you can let Rhonda know what is your least favorite drill that she made you guys do?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what it's called, but it's this drill. I don't even know how many girls there are on the court. I think it's like cross court down ball or something, or maybe it's called something else. But anyways, there's two defenders in 1 and 5, and girls, a setter in 3, that's like doing out of system sets to
Hmm.
position 2 and 4. And it's continuous. And you have to get like, I think at first we had to get 9,
Yeah.
and it took us 90 minutes to get 9 one time. But anyways, it's like continuous. So you start hitting cross court down ball to the defender, but they're holding a ball. So they have to toss the ball in the air, dig the ball to the setter, catch their ball for it to count. And then the setter has to set to the opposite pin. They hit cross court, they throw their ball, dig the ball, and then you have to shift. So it's just the same girls rotating.
Oh, wow.
So that was probably my least favorite drill that we did.
I
But we did,
like it.
yeah.
I like it, but it sounds like it's so many things can go wrong and you have to restart probably.
Yeah, yeah, it gets pretty chaotic, but she's pretty good. Like, as long as you keep the ball off the ground, you can just like wash. So, like, say like the ball goes crazy, you can
Yeah.
just like get it back and then keep going and keep going from where you left off. But the most we've gotten is 22. So
Okay. All right.
that was a really good day.
That's good. And she's including the middles in all this in this drill, obviously.
Oh yeah, like middles, you are expected to pass, you're expected to set. Like you're not leaving here without knowing how to play volleyball.
You know what? That is a complaint I hear from so many of the college coaches down here in the States is that we don't spend enough time on our players to be more well-rounded. It's you have that specialty and just like Molly McCage was on and her thing was just because she's tall, don't stick her in the middle. Let her play other things. And it's so true. It's nice to see your coaches like, basically building up everybody, the entire, your skill set.
Yeah, because like anything can happen in a season. Like anyone can go down with an injury, and like as a middle, like being able to swing on the pins and like being able to pass a ball, like it just makes my value as a player go like so much higher.
Yeah.
Like I'm so much more useful. Like it is really tough when you have a middle who really only can block, hit, and serve, you know? Like we're in
Right.
5, like we're taking out the libero. Like that's a huge responsibility on the court. Out of system setting, like digging, like it's a big part of the game. Even if you're only in for one rotation, like who cares? Just be the best you can be at that.
Right. And now a couple of things that may be different now, and this is my own ignorance to you sports. Are the liberos allowed to serve up home?
No, they are
Okay.
not. Yeah, thankfully. I mean, our liberos are great servers,
Yeah.
but
And now
but I
the other
don't.
other thing I heard was, and maybe this is just an Ontario thing, that in club ball you can't overhand pass until you're 16 or over 16. I don't know if that the same thing in your clubs and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the age is. It might be U15
Yeah.
here. Same thing, no hand passing. And it's like so hard. Like I coach U13 and you see when the ball's coming high at them, all they want to do is this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so unfortunate that you got to go backwards to try and pass this ball.
Yeah, and it's like that's a tough thing because even like my daughter's age, they have a lot of kids that don't have that confidence or the strength in their hands to take that overhand. So you see that wild swing and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I think the theory behind it is like they're just afraid of like hurting their fingers. So they're
Yeah,
just like, just make them pass it and like whatever
right.
happens, happens. But like when you are told, like say you start U13, you're told for 3 years that you can't do this. And then all of a sudden you're allowed to do it, but the serves are like way harder and they're coming way
Right.
faster at you. it makes it stressful. And then you see like a lot of this,
Yep.
like to pass the serve. So yeah.
Yeah. And now another U Sport question I have. So this past season for the NCAA, they eliminated the double contact on the second touch. Do you guys have a similar rule up there, or double contacts? They'll get whistled regardless.
Yeah, they'll get whistled. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I've had quite a few double contacts this year.
Yeah.
I feel like middles especially get targeted. I don't know why. Like my old coach, he said a ref told him once, like as soon as he sees a middle like backing up to set a ball, he like knows it's gonna be a
Oh
double. I'm like,
wow.
okay, that's a little biased. We
Yep.
can we can sling too. But yeah,
Yeah.
we have doubles and it's so hard because doubles are like the worst because everybody knows you've done it. Like it
Mm-hmm.
happens, and then you just hear the whole gym going like, ooh. And
Yeah.
then the other team gets the point. So yeah, we
Yeah.
still have doubles, but
Yeah. Those, and it's interesting, for as a setter, I hated it when they first talked about it. They were going to bring it in because it's just setting is such a clean thing, and now you have these ugly passes coming along, but it's actually helped the game. I think it helped the game down here just create more flow and take that judgment out of the refs hands. It's no longer okay. A double contact can happen as long as it stays on your side of the net. It's like that's it's I've grown to like it.
yeah, I agree because usually like when a double happens, it's not a perfect set. Like
Right.
every once in a while, it's like unreal, but most of the time when you double, it's like not that good, you know?
Yeah.
But like let the attacker try to fix it. Like let something happen. Just keep letting the game go. I agree. It
Yeah.
does really help flow, especially like in the final this
Mm-hmm.
year, like the NCAA final. Like I thought the game was like so much more enjoyable to watch because there would have been so many of those double calls,
Right. Yeah.
but it just makes for a more entertaining game to watch.
Yeah. All right. So now you also play for Team Canada. So let's talk about that process. So, how did you get involved with that?
Yeah, so actually, when I came for my visit to Mount Royal, one of my like family friends, volleyball mentor, signed me up for this NEP tryout, and I like had no idea what I was going to. Like I thought it was just a camp.
Yeah.
And I show up and they're like, "This is a tryout." I literally like I wasn't even going into grade 12 because NEP is usually for like grade 12 students. It's
Okay.
like the National Excellence Program. So it's like they spend 4 months playing volleyball in Richmond, which is like where the national team trains,
Yeah.
and doing their final year of high school. So I was already finishing my final year of high school, but my coach just like signed me up for this. So that was my first experience with like any
Oh,
national
wow.
team. And I remember the coaches were like, you need to be faster. And I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean faster? Like the ball's in the air. Like it was just completely lost on me. Um, so that was my first experience. And that's when I met Shannon and a few other people like in the program.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, for the 2023 season, I went and applied for the next gen tryout and I got invited and I went and tried out and then I didn't make the team, which was like, that's fine. Like I was still really raw and
Yeah.
like very much learning the game. And then this past summer, same thing. I was like, hey, just apply again, see what happens. I got invited to the tryout and I wasn't super stoked with like how I tried out.
Yeah.
I was like, it's okay if it doesn't happen again this year. Like I just didn't think I put out my best performance. And then it was like a week later, I was back in Calgary and I was on my way to go do our team lift.
Yeah.
And I got an email being like, congratulations, like we want you on the next gen squad, which was like insane. Like I immediately called my coach at the time, Shane Smith and Donata, and like told them, and they're super fired up for me. I told my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like so surreal and like, yeah, it was a crazy moment for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I had Shannon on, and one of the questions I asked her, some stories, some of the ones that stick out when you got to tell players they made the team, and Vic Savard was one, and then she talked about you, especially being from the Yukon. It was just like, and then she said your reaction was just she won't forget it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was when I was finding out if I was going to be going to the like Pan Am tournament.
Yeah,
And same thing. I was like, didn't make the first tournament. I was like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, that's fine. Like, I'll go do something else. Like, I'll head back to Calgary and start training for preseason for the school year. But yeah, she like came in, like asked me how I thought I was doing like this summer. And I like told her, I was like, honestly, it's been really hard. There's been times where I'm like, okay, I'm not good enough to be here, like maybe yet. She was like, yeah, yeah. And then we like just kind of chatted a little bit. And then she goes, well, I'm like very happy to say, like, pack your bags, like you're gonna be coming to Mexico. And like immediately, like just like you're working so hard for this for the whole summer and like going in like hoping for the best but like ready for the worst
Yeah.
and then you do the best like I'm a very emotional person like I cry very quite easily and like I immediately started tearing up and I like tried to keep it together and Shannon's like it's okay she's like you're allowed to be emotional like this is a big deal
Yeah.
okay and I just like started letting tears coming out and then Shannon like also started welling up a little
Oh,
bit and yeah, it was like, yeah. And then she told me, like, don't ever forget about this. Like, when you're well into your journey, she's like, do not forget how you feel right now. And I never will. Like,
nice.
yeah, the amount of gratitude I have for that moment and like getting to go compete was, yeah, like it's something I'll never forget.
And how about that first time you got your jersey with your name on it?
Oh, yeah, it was a red versus white match in Richmond. And I just like remember like taking it out. I have it hanging in my room as you can see,
Yeah.
just like just a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a surreal feeling to see your name with the flag on
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah, I was very excited. I've never been so excited for a piece of gear in my life.
Nice. And how about that first time, like going to Mexico, hearing the national anthem and being there? What was that moment like?
Same thing, like so surreal. Like I always felt kind of silly because like, they play like this like little song and it's like intense and everybody like comes out and lines up on the end line and like everybody's got their game face on and I'm just like grinning ear to ear because I can't believe I'm here. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. They've got like lights and we were playing in like I don't know if you call it like an arena, but like the court was down and there was like bleachers all around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never been in a gym that big. And it's just like it was insane. And we went a little early to play like some friendly games against
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. And every single one of those games, the stands were just packed. And as soon as the game would finish, everybody would run onto the court, just be like asking for pictures,
Oh my
asking for
God.
stickers. Like they'd give you like gifts, like they'd give you candy and like all this stuff. It was like I was like, this is insane. Like never in a million years would I have ever thought that I'd get to experience something
Yeah.
like that.
Wow. And how about that first moment you got on the court?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We were playing a weaker, so I got to play in the friendly games against Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And after Shannon kind of made a comment like, Emma, like you surprised us, like good job, like because I knew like if I got to play, like it wouldn't be very much for this tournament.
Yeah.
And then like I think the way I performed in that first game like gave more confidence in the coaches that like I could actually be a tool to be used.
Yeah.
So that was like super great. It was kind of nice going in like to that tournament with that mindset of like there's no pressure. Like just go
Right.
play your best and like if it's not good enough, well you already knew that. And if it is good enough, then like great. So that was super cool. And then during the tournament, I got to play against Suriname. So that was pretty exciting. They're like not super strong of a team or
Mm-hmm.
anything, but still like unreal to get to do that. And then I got subbed in against the Dominican Republic, which is insane because some of those girls were literally competing at the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like unfortunately, two of our middles got hurt.
Oh no.
Yeah. So both of them had like foot injuries and Shannon, so four middles only go to the tournament. So, so Dolly was playing, and then Lane was playing, and Avery Heppel, and then Lane got hurt, so she was done, and then Avery got hurt, so then the last one was me.
Oh boy.
So I went from being the fourth middle to being a starter
Yeah.
within like 5 days of volleyball. So that was pretty insane. Um, but yeah, like same thing. It was like like there's no one to take me out.
Mm-hmm.
I just get to go in, I get to play free. Just like I made sure I knew the game plan,
Yeah.
um, knew what my blocking assignments were, and then just made sure I was always available to get set.
Yeah. Oh wow. And now, what
Yeah.
was the level of play like compared to coming from U Sports? Was it that next level, like really fast, a lot of things going on?
Yeah, certainly very fast. Like everything was just faster. Like attack speeds are much faster, serve speeds, the speed of the sets. Like So you just have to be like much better at reading, quicker footwork, all that stuff. Also, the girls are hitting a lot higher.
Hmm.
So like it's a bit of an adjustment to go from like blocking just over the net to like figuring out how to block higher and like still press.
Yeah.
So that was like a bit of a learning curve. I think like there's more offenses that they can run at that level. Like at my level, there's a few teams that like really run the pipe and the C ball effectively, but
Yeah.
not many. But like at that level, it's when there's a like a four pass, like there's four options being run.
Right.
And it's and they're all fast, like they're all right on that like quick tempo.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an adjustment, but like that's what we were training for the whole summer.
Hmm.
So
Nice. And now,
pretty ready.
speaking of training, how did the training compare to what we were getting at Mount Royal? Well, like similar exercises and drills, or they're just doing so much more and digging deeper into sort of helping you guys develop a higher volleyball IQ.
Yeah, definitely like helping us develop for sure. I found that there was much more gameplay and less focus on like there's obviously focus on some skills and like sometimes we would isolate it.
Yeah.
So you would either practice twice a day or you'd practice and lift. So on the days where we practiced twice, we'd have like a skill session. So that would be like blocking
Yeah.
or working on our defense usually, or like high ball setting, because high ball setting is quite important, especially like at the next level. Like you need to
Yeah.
get those like on the money. So we did quite a bit of that. But yeah, during our like bigger practices, um, lots of gameplay and like wash style drills.
Hmm.
So like just working on seeing the game and kind of running our offense and figuring that out. We would do this drill, like basically just like serve pass to attack, but we would work with all the different setters and you'd have like one option. The setters could run like the C ball and
Yeah.
like the step, like they'd have a decision, but it was really cool to see like how those different pieces of like attackers work together to like build an offense.
Yeah.
Always working at it.
Nice. What's your favorite set to hit?
Ooh, I really love 30s or 60s. Yeah.
And now for those, what are the 30s and what are the 60s?
Okay, so a 30 is like, I don't know how many zones. Is it nine zones that the net is divided
Yeah.
into? Yeah, so nine. So it goes from, but yeah, I guess one would be the left side and then nine would be on the right side.
Hmm.
You can kind of imagine that. 30 is like a little bit, it's pretty much in between where the setter and the left side is.
Yeah.
And you're hitting a first tempo attack from there. And a 60 is a first tempo attack like right behind the setter.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I enjoy the 30s because I feel like I always have more options. Like I can see which way I can cut the ball with the
Yeah.
block. And then 60s, I just like hitting those hard. Like they're
Yeah.
just cool sets. I don't know.
Yeah, and we now down here, some of them call it like they may call it a 31 or a 32. Is that what you
Mhm.
guys call them, or you guys just leave them as threes?
Yeah, we hit 31s and then
Okay,
like
yeah,
our left side will run a 33 ball,
yeah,
then we'll run like a 50 or
yeah.
something.
Nice.
Yeah.
After you're done university, what is your plans from a volleyball standpoint?
Yeah, so I've signed with an agency, LZ Sports. So right now, just like looking for teams for me to go play overseas next year.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping for somewhere in Germany or France.
Yeah.
But I'll play anywhere. So
Dad, do you have any teammates that are playing overseas right now, or
yeah, I
that
have
past teammates that are now playing overseas?
yeah, quite a few. So Dolly Thokboom, she is also on the next gen squad with me,
Hmm.
um, and played at Mount Royal, another Unreal Middle. She's playing in Belgium. And then Quinn Pelland, she was our setter and also part of the next gen squad and has like went to VNL, not last summer, but the summer
Yeah.
before. She's playing in the Canary Islands.
Oh wow, I didn't even know there's a league out there.
I know. Yeah. So her life looks pretty unreal. I'd love to play somewhere warm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh. And now, from a volleyball standpoint, blocking standpoint, what are some of the little things that have helped you be a better blocker?
Oh man. I'd say like just continuously like learning how to read better. Like reading is really like that's what makes or breaks you as a middle blocker, especially. Um, just knowing like as soon as the ball has been as soon as you read, like you gotta go. So just like being so dialed and so focused getting your eyes off the ball and onto the setter, because as soon as you're on the ball too long, it'll happen too fast and you'll be late. One cue that I really like to help like with my press is press to where the ball is going to cross the net, not where the ball is set. I find that helps like a lot of the time. I used to struggle with like going up and then over or
Hmm.
like just going up and not pressing. But when you think about like pressing to where the ball is going to cross the net, it helps you get your hands over faster. And then working on your different like footwork. So like there's like your quick two, your crossover three, your 5 step blocking footwork. So just being very good in all of those different things and then knowing when to use which footwork for what
Yeah.
situation.
All right. And now for the younger kids, you talked about, you're involved with some coaching on the club side of things. What are some common mistakes or young middles are doing that, they should look at, fixing or improving?
I think like just coming, but understanding like you need to be able to do everything. Like it's really tough as like a middle. Like say you're tall at U14, you might not be tall once you get to U18.
Right.
So you might need to play a different position. So just being able to pass, defend, be able to set like having really good ball control all around is super useful. So I'd like encourage young middles to really fight to get those reps.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I think just like always making yourself available and being super loud. Um, I find I hear a lot of the time that middles like don't get set as much as they'd want to. Um, Half of the battle is just letting your setter know that you want the ball. Like if you don't think you're getting set enough, like in between the next point, like go connect with your setter, hold their hands, be like, hey, like I'm ready for you, like give me this next ball. And then your setter will have so much confidence in you.
Yeah.
And then yeah, go
All
hit that
right.
ball.
Excellent. Yeah. And you bring up a good point about, just because you're a middle now, it doesn't mean that's the position you're going to play because, you may be, a tall person, you're the tallest person on the court right now, but as you go through, you get older, the colleges are looking for kids, that 6 foot player that's playing middle now in high school, that's not going to be that 6 foot middle at college. You're going to be an outside hitter probably if you're going to go on to that next level. So yeah, developing those other skills are so important.
Yeah, there's quite a few girls on my team, like, or that have played at Mount Royal that played middle and club. And then as soon as they got to university, they're like, Kit, you're on the pins now. Like, you're too small. Sorry.
Right. Yeah,
But they
exactly.
were able to do that because they had the other skills. So,
Yeah. And now,
mhm.
when it comes to game day, do you have any pregame rituals or certain, meals you need to eat or do you need to take a nap?
Yeah, I like taking a nap for sure. I need to call my dad. That's one. Call him, just chat a little bit,
Yeah.
kind of get my nerves out of my system. Just like, yeah, he likes to talk about like his woodworking or whatever. So it's like way off like volleyball topics. So that's
Hmm.
good. Um, I need to do like a good game day hair. Like I really believe in like look good, play good. So I really like to have my hair done. Um, and then I get like a Starbucks before I go to the gym.
Okay. And that was going
Yeah.
to lead me into the next question, nutrition wise, you see a lot of these, my daughter's one of those, they get their Starbucks, they get their, Dunkin' or whatever it is like, I don't think they understand how important nutrition is at that age. But as you get older, what are some of the things that have you noticed from what do you guys do from a pregame meal standpoint, a pregame, meal for the day?
Yeah, our coach is like very good, and we have an awesome nutritionist at the school, but our coach is like very involved in making sure we eat enough. That's like my biggest takeaway is actually the volume of food I need to be eating.
Yeah.
Like, it is insane. On game days, our coach sends us like a game day schedule, and it has like when we should be eating, which is so handy because
Yeah.
it really matters like how early you're having that big meal before the game. Like it needs to be like 3 to like 2 hours in advance so you actually digest it and get what you need in there. Um, yeah, so that's super helpful, just like knowing when to eat and then just eating a lot of
Yeah.
food. Mhm.
Absolutely. Excellent. And now, what do you do to reset? You had a couple of bad plays. What's your sort of thing that you do?
I I'm like a very like connected person, like with my teammates. So I'll go grab their hands, look in their eyes. My setter and I really like to hug on the court. So like sometimes we'll just like give each other a hug and be like, okay, here we go. I always touch the sideline.
Yeah.
like in between points. Like I'll just go put my foot on it, and that's just like my reset thing.
Yeah. All right. Now, a couple of fun questions. So I had Eric Shoji on a while ago, and him and Taylor Averill have this thing. What's the toughest position in volleyball? So now, Emma, I think I know what you're going to say, but what is the toughest position in volleyball?
Okay, I used to say middle 100%, but my setters, like, I do not know how they do it. Like, everybody demands so much from their setters. Like, this is just kind of turned into like an appreciation
Yeah.
for all the setters out there. Like, they just take it. Like, you know what? A setter never goes to their attacker and goes like, you need to hit that deeper. You need to do this. You need to do that. Maybe some do, but like
Yeah.
I've never had a setter that has done that. But like me as a middle, I'm like, get that ball higher. I need it more out. Get it through the zone. Pins are like, we need it faster. And the setter is always just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we're not passing great. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my setter is running sprints the whole game to try and get us these balls. And then we have the audacity to be like, you need to get it further out. You need to
Right.
get it higher. So my heart just like goes out to those setters.
Oh, excellent. Well, it's it's either set or middle. That's the most common thing. But now I had last month I had Christian Herr on, who's the PME guy. You see him in all of his TikTok videos. He got to go with the VNL, the U.S. team on their VNL circuit, and he came up with a question that he started asking: "What's the easiest position in volleyball?"
I think right side.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
just get to hit the ball and defend.
Right.
Like, yeah, like that's the dream.
Yeah.
And you get all the glory, I feel like.
Yeah.
You get
That's
set so much.
right. Yeah. Absolutely. Because out of system and everything like that.
Yeah. Like just hit ball, block ball, dig ball. Easy.
Yeah. And they're hitting over the setter too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, they got a vacation.
They do.
Oh. And now, Emma, away from the volleyball court, what are some of the things you like to do?
I like to crochet.
Okay.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time this summer crocheting things. I've made some bucket hats, some
Yeah.
blankets, a bookmark.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoy reading, um, hanging out with my friends,
Yeah.
my roommates.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. So now, we didn't even talk about this aspect of it. Being a athlete student, what are you taking there at Mount Royal?
Yeah, so I'm in anthropology. So that's like the study of humans, pretty much. There's
Okay.
like the way Mount Royal tackles it is that there's like four different kinds. So there's linguistic anthropology, biological anthropology, cultural anthropology, and archaeology.
Okay.
So those are the realms. Um, yeah, I started out in like open studies, and then I went to geology, and then I switched to anthropology.
Okay.
So that's kind of the course I've taken.
Nice. Well, Emma, thank you so much for doing this podcast. I really appreciate it. But before you go, like with past guests, I look for you to, nominate or recommend somebody in your volleyball circle that would have a good story to come on and share.
Oh my gosh, Dolly Thokboom, she is like such an inspirational player. She's just like she's on the cusp of doing some really awesome and amazing things in the
Mm-hmm.
volleyball world. So she'd be unreal to have, I think.
All right. Well, that's already in the works. She's about, I think she's entering the playoff season right now, she tells me. So after they're
Yeah.
done the playoffs, we're going to get her on then.
Oh my gosh, perfect. I
Yes.
can't wait.
Excellent. Well, thank you again so much. Good luck with the playoffs and good luck next year.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.